Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's truly been a pleasure spending the last 2.5 days with you. Uh, as the chairman said, I would like to speak from you from maybe three perspectives. I'm the president of AAAS. I'm also the VP for Research at Morgan State University, and I'm the past director of NIST. So I'll weave in some of those perspectives as we go forward. So I think you all know AAAS is the American Association for the Advancement of Science. That's a proper name, but we advocate for science worldwide, and we try to do that and maintain an open hand, at least create a level playing field. Although the majority of our members are from the U.S., we have considerable members worldwide. Many of you in the audience are AAAS members. But why is Morgan State University interested? Well, first of all, who is Morgan State University? Morgan State University is a historically Black university founded in 1867. As you all know, Lincoln freed the slaves in 1865. So Morgan was established to provide education to recently freed slaves. And over the years, we've taken on a research posture. I was brought to the organization 6 years ago to move Morgan to become a Tier 1 research university. We've already been identified by the state legislature of Maryland as Maryland's preeminent public urban university. We have now 11,000 students. About 20% of those are grad students. We offer PhDs in about 30 areas, masters in about 50 areas, and approaching 70 bachelor's programs. One of the things that I did early on was to establish a blue ribbon panel in STEM program advancement. And we had a 12-person committee to give me advice on how to do that. Bill Phillips was one of the 12. In addition to Bill, we had a former National Medal of Science winner, a former National Medal of Technology member, and 2 other National Academy members. So selected a panel because I knew that when they spoke, hopefully our state government would listen. They provided us with a report with 5 priorities. The number 1 priority was equitable AI and machine learning. The number 1 priority of the, and the second was climate science with a focus on coastal science and policy. The reason for that is Maryland has more coast per unit area than any state in the United States. So those were our 2 priorities. So I guess that gives you a glimpse of why we were interested in that. So we took that report to our governor, and we've gotten, among the additional $22 million added to our budget, funding to establish a Center for AI, equitable AI and machine learning, and a Center for Urban and Coastal Climate Science Research. The equitable part is very important for Morgan because it's been shown that AI is not always kind or fair to people of color. So that was the reason that was our number 1 priority, and I won't dwell with that any further for now. So, as the slide says, new research has used ancient sediments from around the world to explore the Earth's climate over the past 3 billion years. That research has allowed scientists to document how the Earth has regulated its climate throughout its history. And that research makes it clear that severe stuff is happening to us. We have a few people in my country that are deniers, but, well, no further comment. I think, and it's amazing that the people in those states where they're the staunchest climate deniers are reaping the peril from climate change, and they still stick to their, so again, I don't know that I can say more, but certainly objective data shows that temperature has risen all around the world, not at exactly the same rate at all planets, but certainly there's been a significant temperature and steady temperature rise. And that temperature rise is in sync with the increase in carbon burden in our atmosphere. So obviously there's a correlation. And the data also show that if we were to cease the increase in carbon at this point, that we would not revert back to levels of, say, 1920s for another 40 or 50 years. So we have done some we've done some damage to our planet. Hopefully, it is not irreversible. But the data seems to indicate that there is some change, some evidence that it is, and we just hope that we won't do more. So, there's obviously some urgency to address this issue. And what do we need to do? We need to reduce AI's carbon footprint. AI has a very, obviously AI is a marvelous technology, but it sucks up and uses carbon at an increasing rate. We need to ensure equity in the way that we do this, making sure that the underserved and underprivileged are not paying for most of this carbon debt. We need to think about people aren't going to do this because it's nice and voluntarily. We need to establish regulatory frameworks, not only in any one country or any one region. We need to establish regulatory frameworks that there is some agreement with at the global level. And as I said, that requires global cooperation. It's been shown that the computing power necessary to train the best AI models are doubling about every 3 months, and that's been going on for more than a decade. So AI is sucking up more and more and more energy as we refine the models and AI's power increases. And you see the second, it says that AI models produce over 626,000 pounds of CO2, 5 times the emissions of the average American automobile. So I won't read the slide, I'll let you read it. There are some things that we need to do. Obviously, reduce the carbon footprint globally. We need to think about improving regulatory frameworks because, again, we're not always going to do this voluntarily, and these need to be a regulatory framework that is harmonized around the world, and it's going to require global collaborations and cooperation because, unfortunately, we all share this one ball, and everything that happens any place in the world now impacts us all. So in summary, generative AI and large language models present challenges for energy consumption. It sucks up lots of energy. But we've shown that AI has the strength to provide a lot of solutions to address many of our contemporary problems. Thank you for your attention.